welcome to the One to Another podcast. My name is Joanne. Today we're going to talk about balance and maybe a little bit about some of the things that are going on in my heart right now. Trying to figure out how to really share all this, so I don't know how it's going to come together, so we'll just see. But I think that balance is something that we create in our life. I don't think it's easy. You can create a sense of balance and still be busy. Balance is not doing everything for equal amount of time. It is doing the right thing at the right time. And how you figure that out is only you have to decide that with the help of God's direction and what's right for you. When you do that, I feel you have less juggling balls, spinning plates, walking on a tightrope. Balance looks more like peace, confidence in your choices, shaking off guilt that's been nagging at you for years, and finally being thankful for how you use your time. I think it's somebody who was telling me once, and I really listened to him, was that balance comes when you have some margins in your life. We can't read a book that doesn't have any margins. And so you have to decide what really is your true priorities and what's right for you right now. And sometimes it's to be where your feet are, wherever they are, to be there. And to be present in the moment is you're not only more balanced, but you're happier all over. The master of patience is the master of everything, to live in the moment. So I've been doing a little writing. So in my writing, I wrote, what do I want in life? Love, friendship, respect, family, fun. You know, these things are not, they don't have a price tag on them, and they don't pass through the market. In other words, if something isn't priced possessing money, it may not help much. In our modern mindset, all roads lead to the market. To the market we buy and we sell. So as I've been thinking about what it is I want in my life, I don't want it to go through the market. It's not for sale. I'm trying to learn how to keep my own needs low and my generosity high, my expectations heavenward. Life is a journey, but not a race. Am I doing myself a favor? Am I slowing down? I had to take a look at this summer. When I was finishing a grief release class near the beginning of August, I realized that my fatigue was pretty high and my grief was high. And so the people that were in their grief class, we came together and I asked them if I could combine the 4th class and the 5th class together and just do one class. And they were very willing to let me do that. And I realized at that moment that, I needed more time to rest, and I needed more time just to be with Ron, and I appreciated their generosity. So I had to take a look again at life is a journey, but not a race. And could I give myself a favor and slow down? And I did slow down. And I decided to take Fridays off of every week just for a while to slow down, breathe a little easier, and to maybe have more balance in just my own life. So the question I'm going to ask you that I ask myself is, am I interruptible? Do I have time for the non-program things in my life? My response to interruptions is the real test of my love for life, for doing what I believe Jesus is asking me to do. The barrier to spiritual growth is not lack of commitment, but it's overcommitment to the wrong things. Things are to be used, people are to be served. And that's sometimes we get it backwards. And sometimes we have to take a look at what we're doing and why we're doing it. I've always kept a Count Your Blessing book because counting my blessings has been really important to me for having balance in my life, to look back and see this is what I have, this is what I have to look at what I have and not what I don't have. And so, out of counting my blessings, I have learned to send notes of encouragement and appreciation to others when they're not expecting it. So that has helped me be grateful for things large and small. And so I wanted to just share with you, just in the last week, what I have written down that has helped me with my balance. First one I wrote down was 15,760. So I've been doing this a while. First one I wrote down was respect. And the second one I wrote down was being kind to the child inside of myself. And then I thought, okay, what am I really thankful for? I'm thankful that I can be propped up in bed and I can still read. And then I thought, I'm thankful for reading the chapters in the Bible that I really love. And then I was thankful for hot water for my tea and my bath. From seeing the movie The Firing Squad. For living each day for itself. For putting back things where they were found. For blackboards. For pencils. For erasers. For pens. For treasures looking out the window pane. For water pressure. For jars to collect things that I want to treasure. For rain. For always accepting an outreached hand. For a fancy hanky received in the mail. For rereading old letters, magazines, and books. For the newspaper that's telling me about the weather for the next few days. For skinny popcorn. For a smile from a stranger. For talking heart to heart with one of my friends. So, as I write down things for which I'm grateful, large and small, I think that as I look at it and respond to what I write, I am trying to emphasize the joyful life, that I can see the good and appreciate it and write it and then go back and reread it and just be thankful for appreciating creation. I love my flowers. I have a lot of flowers around my house, and I just love my flowers. I like to go out and talk to them and pray over them and water them, and I just am very grateful for creation. And then I found that it's important to write down the things I need to remember and forget everything else. And I have quite a list every day that I need to remember. And then I've talked about laughing and crying, and then always speaking the truth. If I speak the truth, I never need to be concerned about my memory. I was reading something recently as I'm just kind of telling you what's going on in my heart. I got a hold of a part of an article. It says, the attraction of certainty is a dangerous distraction to our leadership because it leads us to compromise our integrity. In our longing to appear confident and certain, we become liars. It won't surprise you to learn that humans are incredibly adept at creating lies and making up stories. 90% of children have grasped the concept of lying and are able to put it to good use by the age of 4. But it is in adulthood that we really hone this skill. In a 2002 study by the University of Massachusetts, they found that 60% of adults are unable to conduct a conversation of longer than 10 minutes without telling a lie. If that sounds bad, it even gets worse. Of those who lied, researchers found that they told an average of 3 lies per conversation. Sometimes we lie about things that aren't even important, just to protect our reputation or status in a group. So as I've been thinking about life and what it's doing for me right now and finding the balance, I want to be a woman who really does share the truth. And in sharing the truth and finding out how I can balance life and live in the moment, you know what? My heart loves to play. I love to read. I love to work in the flowers. I like to dance in the kitchen. I take 5-minute breaks to remind myself that days are for loving, laughing, not pushing, planning. It's all about the heart. It's not about the hustle and bustle. So if you're tired, and you're really tired, no matter what, if your life has crafted you for what you feel is too heavy, and you feel like it's too heavy to matter, if people on either side are caring more or less, and you don't have a public life or a particularly busy life in order to be terribly dangerously depleted, you don't have to buy into the idea that what's going on in your life isn't worth listening to. Because you know what? We need each other. And we need to leave behind the place to please everyone. I want to respect all people, especially those who are different than me, and I want to learn from them. And I want to be able to walk out my life in a pace that works for me. I want to celebrate alongside people who do the same, and they're not jealous of their pace. So what is this all about? I just think what it's all about is learning balance. I think it learns about friendship, to love deeply and well. And that's different from pleasing. Love is often quieter, never connected to the anxious, trying to prove, and trying to learn to keep up with people's expectations. I'm just learning that love doesn't allow hiding. Love invites ourselves and our whole story into the light. Friendship sees in us and sees our secrets, and we're much more similar than we are different. Our secrets are largely the same, but because of how we have lived it, we're beginning to learn that we can have balance, we can have friendship, we can have a love for life, we can be honest, we can fail, and we can get up again, because it's really true that the steps of a good man or woman are ordered by the Lord, and He delights in His ways. To him who orders his conduct aright, I will show the salvation of the Lord. Balance looks more like peace, confidence in your choices. So how are you living life? What's going on in your life? What do you want to give you a balance and a peace that you're confident in your choices? What are you thinking? Well, I hope you'll take one more step towards healing and believe that we need each other, and somehow we learn and grow from each other and finally find a balance that helps us create our life.